So do I regret pulling Zani? Hell no, is you crazy? That being said, I do kind of have a couple issues. So basically I'm making this video for people who are thinking about pulling Zani. Who am I kidding? People who wanted Zani have probably pulled her by now. But if you're having buyer's remorse or you're worried about this whole Zani, Phoebe, Spectral Rover, Spectral Frazzle situation, then I'm here to like give my opinion. Hopefully it'll help add perspective to you. There's been a lot of doom posting lately about the character Zani. She's the most popular character in Wuthering Waves by far right now, and this is the main source I realize of all this drama. It's not about greed, it's not about rewards. A lot of people just feel scammed by this character in some way or another. What do I mean by that? Well, in a lot of gacha games, they tend to do this predatory business practice where they make a lot of limited 5-star characters dependent on other 5-star characters to invest you, keep you playing the game, and so that you roll for characters you realistically don't even care for as much as your main character that you rolled for. And I'm not gonna lie, it works. I'm probably gonna get Brant. I'm not the hugest fan of him, but I rolled Chang Li, and they work extremely well together. So I'm not the hugest fan of Grant, but I've learned to like him. Pause, not like that. But anyway, you see the issue. Apparently, Zani is literally unplayable without Phoebe, according to certain people. And for context, I am a newer player. I joined around 2.0, on and off. I haven't even cleared endgame yet, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. But that being said, I feel like these allegations of Zani needing Phoebe are a bit overblown. Like, we do have Spectral Rover, and she works decently well with Zani, not as well as Phoebe, but it is an option. I guess at the end of the day, it just comes down to how much of a tryhard you are or a perfectionist. Like, if you want Zani at her absolute best, then yes, Phoebe is better than Spectral Rover. But if the free-to-play option is fine for you, you can still do everything that you need to do with Spectral Rover and Zani. That's not to devalue the opinions of people who really want Phoebe and really want Zani to play at her best and are annoyed by this, because that's just how people play the game. You gotta look outside your own perspective. Like me, I don't need Phoebe. I don't even like Phoebe's playstyle, so I probably would get her. But I can completely understand, and to an extent, it kind of annoys me that I know I'll never have her like best in slot or what. Another thing when I think about it is Phoebe can be played as a DPS, so it's just like weird because Zani, for her best case scenario, she needs Phoebe, but I'm pretty sure Phoebe's best case scenario doesn't really need Zani, so that's kind of a weird situation there. Things that you also need to keep in mind if you're playing Zani is that she has very strong heavy attack. Like, heavy attack goes a long way on this character, so if you have a way to buff heavy attack, that's a whole nother way of playing her. I feel like a lot of people just completely follow meta in this game, so there are a lot of playstyles that people haven't discovered yet. So keep in mind, if you are smart and don't mind messing around, there's probably other ways to play her than just Spectral Frazzle, but that's neither here or there. Another thing to keep in mind is she has a pretty crazy damage resistance reduction. And what that means is certain enemies usually have buffs or shields that make them take less damage, and Zani just completely ignores that. So even if she doesn't do the most damage compared to other players, she is ignoring a lot of like ways that enemies mitigate damage. So basically, in places where characters are barely doing any damage, Zani's still going to be shredding health. So that's another thing to keep in mind. My main issue with Zani is her reliance on Spectral Frazzle, and I don't think it's something that anybody, no matter how gassed you are on this character, can deny. Yes, Spectral Rover is an option, but what about when you need Spectral Rover for a Havoc Rover or whatever stuff comes out? Like, it's undeniable that this is an issue, and if they're gonna make Zani so reliant on Spectral Frazzle, we need more Spectral Frazzle, period. I mean, it's kind of crazy because I feel like Kuro Games could solve all this drama by announcing and working on more 4-stars. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this game has a lack of 4-stars. So I feel like this would solve 2 birds with 1 stone if they just got working on Spectral Frazzle 4-star that's not Spectral Rover. And even then, it's just annoying having to rely on other characters to play Zani. I understand the issue because it's like, you might not necessarily like the characters they're making you roll for. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, when I first got Zani, I didn't even know what Spectral Frazzle was, and I didn't care. I leveled her up, put her on her team with Rover, gave her artifacts, and just started playing. Even not knowing Zani's rotations, not knowing Spectral Frazzle, barely leveling up the Rover, I think I got him to level 70, I think he has like a level 1 weapon, and did not touch his talents, and some throwaway artifacts. And even barely trying. I got 2 stars pretty comfortably, but in the Tower of Adversity. I know, skill issue, but it was literally my first try. It was just to test out a new character. So I'm pretty sure if I leveled up Spectral Rover, learned how Spectral Frazzle works, learned Zanie's rotations, learned how to read, I would pass this pretty easily. So main point is, I don't think you need Phoebe. A little bit I'll say about Zanie's playstyle is that she's really fun to play. She does feel a bit clunky at times, like her counters, they are pretty free, like they happen kind of instantly. Sometimes I don't even mean to when she counters. And you just feel really powerful playing this character. So that's another thing. Like, she's enjoyable to play, although sometimes a bit clunky. But that's pretty much how I feel about this character. I also feel like maybe give her the ability to add a bit of her own Spectral Frazzle. I'm not sure if she can do that. It is kind of really a crossroads for this video game. It could go either way. They could just lean into this, or this could be the worst that it gets, and they could just hover around this area of making characters reliant on other characters for their best results, but still keeping the game fairly easy to clear with any character as long as you put high investment in them. But at the end of the day, Zani was kind of sacrificed. Do I believe Zani was a bait character? Sort of, yeah. I feel like they're testing the waters to see how far this can go. So it's important to let your criticisms be known. I'm pretty sure they know the community doesn't like this, so it's just kind of like you gotta wait and see where this goes. Are they gonna add more characters that work with Zani? Are they gonna add more Spectral Frazzle? Or are they just gonna push all of these echoes that are so character reliant on everybody and just expect us to just pay for every limited 5-star? It can really only go 2 ways. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have buyer's remorse? Do you regret pulling Zani? Are you happy with Zani? Does none of this matter to you? If it doesn't, I don't know how you made it this far in the video. So let me know in the comments how you guys feel about her. Are you guys regretting pulling her? What are your positives? What are your negatives? My main thing positive with her is like she's extremely underbunded, easy to use once you understand Spectral Frazzle. And there's still a bit of skill expression because you can still use her parries and counters. But on the downside, her playstyle is very restrictive, and I can see myself getting bored of playing her the same way, Bunga style. Who's to say months from now she might feel gimmicky or boring, but at the end of the day, she will shred the content. I'm just gonna let you know that. If there is any power creep, I've heard talks about that, it's very, very, very small, but I feel like it is there. Like, she is not even just with like damage, but ease of use, like, because she's pretty unbelievable. But that's pretty much all I gotta say. Peace.
The end has come.